The Julian Alvarez situation doesn't look like it's going to end very soon. Oh. I don't think that matter is going to end as early as anyone thinks. I think that it will come down to the final day of the transfer window before that problem gets solved. A problem that I think was caused by another group of people other than Atletico Madrid or Julian Alvarez. A lot of people have had comments to say about what Atletico Madrid are doing to Julian Alvarez or what Julian Alvarez is doing to Atletico Madrid and all whatnot. I personally think that the fault of all this problem lies with Julian Alvarez's agents. Yes, they were the ones that made this situation get this bad. Julian Alvarez clearly wants to play for Barcelona, and he didn't dream that up overnight. It's clear that probably for some years he's always dreamed of playing for Barcelona. When he left Manchester City 2 years ago to join Atletico Madrid, it must have been with that in mind that after a while, with things going my way, I would join Barcelona. But when he got to Atletico Madrid and he was about to sign, he was offered a 6 year contract with a release clause of over 450 million euros. And Julian Alvarez signed it. Like, why would you sign that kind of offer? It doesn't make any sense. His agents shouldn't have let him put pen to paper. You can't get your assets to sign that kind of contract. It's a death row contract, I'm afraid. Now, Julian Alvarez wants out after 2 years. He has 4 years left on his contract, but he says he wants out. He wants to leave, which is another stupid thing that he did that his agents allowed. When you are trying to engineer a move away from your club, you don't go to the press to make comments. You let your agents do the talking. In a post-match press conference during the World Cup, after a game that Argentina had played, Julian Alvarez went to the press and said, a transfer is best for all parties, and I would like to play for Barcelona because it's my dream. That is such a brainless thing to say when you are trying to get out of your contract with your current employer. It doesn't make any sense. His agents again goofed. Atletico Madrid will not sell to Barcelona even at 130 million euros. The reason why is because Real Madrid have made that offer and Atletico Madrid turned it down. The only way that Atletico Madrid will let Julian Alvarez move to Barcelona is if Barcelona put up, a cash offer of 150 million euros or more. That's an astronomically huge amount of money, but um you have to just look at the fine print and you have to look at the numbers. You know, women lie, men lie, players lie, even football clubs lie, but numbers don't lie. If they had put that situation up when he was signing the contract, that look, Julian Alvarez can only sign for 5 years and we want a release clause of 200 million euros written in his contract, Atletico Madrid will have taken it because he was the main man, he was the star striker that was signing for them. So I think that Atletico Madrid have a right to want to keep hold of their player and have a right to want to sell him to any club that presents a more substantial offer, like Arsenal have. And Julian Alvarez also has the right to also want to wish to go somewhere else. But Julian Alvarez's agents, his lawyers, his entourage have not done right by him. They should have ensured that he got a contract that reflected an easy way to get out of it. But they let him sign that contract, and now he's bound to them legally. He has to play. So, what do you guys think? I think that Julian Alvarez will eventually, ultimately, my prediction is that he will go to Barcelona. I think we'll go to Barcelona. I think that there might be a compromise reached before the end of the transfer window where, Barcelona probably will up their offer and they will agree on some form of installments. But I do not see um, Atletico Madrid receiving less than 140 million euros for Julian Alvarez, 150 million euros even. And it's going to be very difficult for him. It's going to be very difficult for him. We saw the scenes that happened, at the Wanda Metropolitan over the weekend. It was really unfortunate and sad. But these are the final moments of Julian Alvarez's career in Atletico Madrid, I'm afraid. Um, his agents shouldn't have let him speak to the press. Traditionally, in football transfer negotiations, selling clubs don't like it when their players go to the press to say, I don't want to play for this club again, I want to move to another club. Because it weakens their position in the transfer market, in the negotiations. If I know as a buying club that your player doesn't want to play for you anymore, why would I want to pay the amount that you're asking for? I will pay it. If you want 50 million pounds, I will tell you I can only give you 40 because I know your player doesn't want to play for you. So I think that Julian Alvarez's agents need to work on how they go about negotiations and press runs and press releases. And this should be a cautionary tale to many footballers out there. You don't just sign anything put in front of you. Your agents have to ensure that it is in your best interest, whatever is put in front of you to sign, you know. And gentleman's agreements in signing contracts really don't hold much water because they are not in the fine print. It is only things that are in the fine print that are usually respected and honored. Making agreements, gentlemen's agreements, word of mouth, they can be breached. So I think that Julian Alvarez is would have to change his agents. I'm afraid. I don't think he has good agents, and we'll see. How that pans out at the end of the transfer window.